you're probably pushing 20,000 followers across all your platforms?
Yes. I didn't get into it for the followers. I didn't even really at first see it as a way to build my business. I did a couple of just quick little tips and tricks videos, and I got a lot of traction.
There's a lot of dealerships that are trying at it right now, but also, where's the ROI? How do you manage these people and start generating leads and sold vehicles from them?
I feel like the platforms too are totally different. I feel like with TikTok, I get more interest in salespeople learning how to sell. On Facebook, I feel like I get the customer.
What led to you kind of starting that up, and what the trajectory of that is?
Yeah, so I have realized that the old school way of sales training and the word tracks are so cringe. And if I were a customer, I absolutely 100% would not buy a vehicle from these people.
Welcome back to another episode of the I'm a Car Chick podcast. It is me, your host, Shasta Haddock. And my next guest is going to be somebody you may know, you may not know, may have seen her on social media. That's how I found her. I was just hanging out, scrolling through TikTok one day, and she popped up into my feed exactly where she belonged. And very quickly, I reached out to her and was like, hold on a second. You and I need to talk because you're doing some really amazing things. So, of course, I knew I had to share her with you guys. So without further ado, straight out of Courtesy Ford of Rome, Stephanie Bristow. Hi.
Hi.
How are you? I'm so good. I spent so much time just stalking your videos and learning and watching everything you do. And I don't even know how far back I made it on videos, but I know you have so many. You've already got over 1 million likes on TikTok, multiple million view videos. You're doing the damn thing.
I am trying. And it's really, honestly, I think something that just fell in my lap. I tried to do it. Oh, what happened to me? I tried to do it one time, and then it just kind of clicked from there. And I'm just I feel like I naturally have some acting skills, and I'm funny. So it's worked for me.
You've got a good personality for it, for sure. How did, so before we jump into all that, because I definitely want to talk about that, how did you find your way in automotive? What were you doing before you got here? And you've been here 10 years. How did you find your way here?
So it's really actually a funny story. I went to medical school. I got an associate's degree in medical assisting. My plan was to be an RN. I spent about 6 months in the medical field and quickly realized that it was not for me. So I honestly just fell into it. So it started as a receptionist job at the dealership. I was answering phones. I was helping the BDC, setting appointments, those kind of things. And then I feel like inquisitive person. I have a lot of questions. I like to know how things work. And it got to a point where they were like, you're just asking so many questions. You just need to do it. So I transitioned into an assistant for a salesperson, the internet sales manager. And within about 2 years, I actually ended up taking his job, and I became the internet sales manager. So I did that for 5 years. And then my dealership sold out to a more corporate dealership. I'm not really cool with all of that. So I left, and I took about 10 months off from the car business. And let me just say that 10 months, I feel like the car business completely changed. I mean, when I got back to where I'm at now, it's totally from customers to the process, to the pricing, to the rates. I mean, everything is just completely different than it was when I left. So that learning curve has been an adjustment process, but we're making it.
What 10 months was that? I think I saw on LinkedIn, it was 2023.
Yes, it was. It was October 2022 to August 2023.
What happened in that?
Well, I got my insurance producer's license. I worked for Aflac for about 3.5 seconds. And it was awful. I was falling asleep during like presentation. I mean, it was just so boring. It was not for me. And then I came here. This is a family owned and operated dealership, also locally owned. And I knew that's where I wanted to be. So they welcomed me with open arms. And I feel like I've gotten very lucky because both places that I've ended up have felt like family. We take care of each other. Everything is done, I feel, fairly. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I've heard horror stories about, dealerships and, salespeople in this business. And I just feel blessed to have ended up both times in somewhere that I feel like has really helped me, like people that want to see me win, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So. Where it's not like crazy competitive and everybody cutthroat and out for each other. Like,
correct. And it's always going to be competitive because that's what this is. But we make it more of like a fun competitiveness where we're still like, do you need anything? Can I help you? You have 2 customers, do you want me to go fill up a car with gas? Like those kind of things that you don't see everywhere.
No, it's definitely not everywhere. It is generally, smile to your face while I'm stabbing you in the back type of camaraderie there.
Yep.
So you've been doing this. You've been in the business for over 10 years. You are obviously younger. I think I saw you're in your mid-30s.
Yeah, I'm 35.
That's wild. Mm-hmm. It's wild. I mean, you started off in your young 20s doing this and have had crazy success, but you really took the social media bull by the horns. I mean, I saw you've got, you're probably pushing 20,000 followers across all your platforms?
Yes. Across all of them I am. Oh. I didn't get into it for the followers. I didn't get into it as like a way to, I didn't even really at first see it as a way to build my business. It was fun. It was almost like a way to cope with such a like hard job and a hard career choice. It was a way for me to get on there and kind of release steam about customer frustrations and, just day-to-day environment frustrations. And that's how it started. And then I did a couple of like just quick little tips and tricks videos, and I got a lot of traction with that. And I got a lot of messages and I got a lot of DMs and comments, and we need this stuff. And it just kind of made me realize, like, I feel like I've always known that I was meant to be in this business for more than selling cars because of the way I got into it. I mean, it was the universe that put me here. So I've just always felt like what I'm supposed to, my purpose is bigger than just selling cars. And so that's what the social media has kind of taught me, is that there is that market out there of people that need to be trained, I feel like, differently than the normal, your granddad's sales training that we've always had. Yeah. And that's where it kind of sparked that idea for me.
Yeah. And you do a lot of educating to customers as well as other salespeople, like, hey, stop using these tactics. You don't have to be overly pushy to sell a car. I mean, you're showing them different ways to have conversations, different ways to overcome the objections that we all see, that all think about it, or I just don't like the price, all of those things. You have multiple different workarounds for that still lets you be friendly and personal with them without being over the top pushy. And customers are wanting that. Like, the industry's changed, like we said, so much over the last several years. Like, customers don't want to be over the top sold to. And
they don't want to be sold to at all. They don't want to feel like they're being sold. They want to feel like they're understood. And that's really what the relationship side of it is, so much more important than it's ever been. Yeah. They're going to connect with you before they connect with your dealership or the car or the brand. They're going to decide whether or not they want to buy from you before they move forward, really, is what it comes down to.
This episode is brought to you by Epic BDC, your number one outsourced BDC solution. Learn more about Epic BDC by checking out the link in the bio. Well, and you're proving that it works. I mean, I think I saw in several of your posts, like, you're one of the top producers at the dealership, if not the top.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the top every month.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, so it works.
We don't really
Yeah. But I mean, you're proving that it works by showing by how many cars you're selling all the time. I assume you've got a pretty good sized book of business, having been in the business, as long as you have return customers.
I have a lot of referrals. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, referrals, and that goes to show, like, people like the way you treat them, and will continue to come back to you and send their friends and family to you. And that's something that we're missing in the industry right now, is really building on that referral business. And I mean, I've said it multiple times here on the podcast, like my last buying experience was bad. I don't feel like my dealership wanted my business at all. And that's coming from somebody in the industry who understands all the struggles the dealership goes through. But I mean, if you're not taking the time out of your day to make sure that your customers want to come back to you because they enjoyed that experience so much, there's 7 other dealerships down the road that'll take their business.
Absolutely. I just sold a car today. We sent it out to South Carolina. The man had the exact same vehicle at a dealership 20 miles from him locally. And he literally bought because of me, because of the relationship that I built, because of me listening, me being, not aggressive and more of just helpful. I mean, that's such a big thing to people when they feel like you're listening to them and that they're a person to you and not just a car deal or a transaction. When you take that transaction and you turn it into like a connection or a relationship, that is a game changer. It really is.
Well, and I still want to touch on the social media stuff for a second, because it's something that we're super passionate about here, but also there's a lot of dealerships that are trying at it right now. Like, they're finally starting to understand. They're seeing all of their competitors active on social, and they're like, all right, how do we do this?
Mm-hmm.
How do we jump in, number one, and stay compliant with the OEM? How do we make sure that we're not breaking any laws or being over the top offensive or anything like that? How do we do all these things? But also, where's the ROI? Like, that's probably the number one question, is where's the ROI? So you're obviously getting a lot of views, a lot of comments, I'm sure a lot of messages based on all of your activity across your platforms. How do you manage these people and start generating leads and sold vehicles from it?
I feel like the platforms too are totally different. So
yes.
I feel like with TikTok, I get more interest in salespeople learning how to sell. On Facebook, I feel like I get the customers. I feel like I get the buyers. I feel like I get the people who are in my DMs and they're like, hey, you have this car. Can I get it? And that's really all the proof that I need. It comes straight into my messages on Facebook. And that goes with, posting on Facebook Marketplace, also posting vehicles that I have for sale on my stories, intertwined with sold car posts and posts about, how much I love my job, and posts about my TikToks and my reels as well. And I do not go a day without seeing somebody that's like, oh, I saw you on whatever, TikTok or Facebook. I saw your videos. I love your videos. Your videos make my day. So they are getting seen. It's not as much, it's not translating as much into sales, for TikTok, but that's okay, because my future plans correlate more with that side anyway. But Facebook, I feel like, is definitely a different hub, and it's a different layout for customers, and they feel more comfortable, and it's more my local people, right? Like with TikTok, they're all over the place, literally everywhere, all over the country. But with TikTok, it's more centralized.
Yeah.
And I think that helps also drive the traffic to me.
I would agree on that. And I'm looking through your content, I've seen the same thing, a lot of salespeople interacting with you on TikTok. And I think it's probably just the algorithms that are just interest-based algorithms. And then Facebook's probably trying to keep you a little bit more local.
Yeah.
How much time would you say, either on a daily or weekly basis, that you spend, producing content? And is it taking a lot of time out of your sales day?
No. If I post, so when I'm on a roll, and I don't have, tons of stuff going on here, I will try to get 3 videos a day in. And when I say that, I mean, as long as I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm saying, and I know the idea behind what I'm trying to get across, 5 minutes at the most, maybe 10 if I have to re-record a couple of parts. But for the the viral sounds and all of that stuff, I can do that at my desk, and it takes all of 15 seconds. So it does not take any time. And it's so important to build that brand. I feel like a lot of people try to market themselves under their dealership brand, and that's not the way to go. People want to connect with people. They don't want to connect with a dealership. or like a Ford logo, you know?
Well, and it's funny because, like I said, I'd found you on TikTok first, and it took me until I made it to your Facebook page to even figure out what dealership you work for, because it wasn't like out there super advertised. I mean, I wasn't necessarily looking hard for it, but
Right.
it wasn't advertising. Like, it wasn't, oh, come buy a car for me today. It was just about you and you being you. And that's what's working.
It is. And I have some of my TikTok content is maybe not always safe for work. So I try to leave my dealership out of most of that. But I definitely shout them out all the time on my Facebook, because that's more family friendly content.
Well, and the local people too.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So you're taking everything that you've learned from putting it in action, from doing it, from changing your sales tactics and your word tracks. I mean, we both came into this industry around the same time, probably 2014, 2015. And we were taught all those same word tracks and given all the same scripts. You started in the BDC. I started in the BDC. You know, the scripts that they'd been using for years that are pushy and just go for the appointment. Don't give them any information. Just get them here now. And you and I are both realizing it doesn't work anymore. And, you know, we've seen it firsthand. Like, people don't want to hear that shit anymore. They want to hear the truth. They want to be treated like a human being and not like another checkbook. And so you're kind of doing some interesting things to help the industry get away from that. And I want to make sure we talk about that, because it's very exciting, and especially considering the fact that you're focused especially on women. Yes. And obviously with me being on the board of Women in Automotive, like, special place in my heart. So I want to talk all about that, what led to you kind of starting that up, and what the trajectory of that is.
Yeah. So along my TikTok journey, I have realized that the old school way of sales training and the word tracks and the sales scripts that these dealerships and these salespeople are using are so cringe. And if I were a customer, I absolutely 100% would not buy a vehicle from these people. And it has.
Did you know that there's a monthly newsletter where you can keep in touch with everything the I'm a Car Chick podcast is up to? There is. Check out the show notes below, and you can also follow us on all social media and stay in tune with whatever we're up to.
The sales process has shifted, and it's still shifting. I do think COVID had a lot to do with it. I think it put customers on edge, but it also made them more aware, right? It made them want to have all of their ducks in a row and all of their shit together before they even come into the dealership, so that they can try to catch you slipping up, whether that research be from TikTok or YouTube or, you know, Russ Flips Whips. I mean, whoever it is, they have their research. They have their information before they get there. And it's really just about creating the relationship, listening, you know, doing the things that I feel like for women come naturally, which is why I feel like we do have an advantage in this business specifically. But the relationship-based selling is where the future is. Social selling and relationship-based selling is what it is moving forward, period. And these dealerships can either adapt, or they're going to get left behind like they did in the 80s when the internet came out. They have got to get their salespeople on a different level. They have got to make them understand that it's not a transaction anymore. At this point, it's about building a relationship. It's about listening to your customers and fulfilling their needs. I mean, if you're able to listen to, I always say, if you're able to listen to 3 out of 5 things that your customer said and retain that information, you're already doing better than the guy next to you or the guy at the dealership that they just left, because they don't listen. I've had so many customers that would be like, the last guy at the dealership, I told him what I was looking for, and he just kept trying to put me in this new car over here. And I told him I didn't want that. They hate that. That's that old school mentality. That's that, well, I'm the boss and I know better than you, so I'm going to put you in what I think works for you. But it really doesn't just work for you. It just makes me money. Mm-hmm. So that whole thing, and they're catching, they know that now. They're catching on to that, and they're looking for that. So that's the difference, I feel like. And that's with my business partner, who also has about 20 years of experience in the car business in every She's worn every hat. Our training is called the showroom shift, and it's about the shift in the sales process and how the stuff that used to work does not work anymore. And it's about what does work now, which is like confidence and not apologizing for the price. Authenticity over word tracks. I hate a word track. If I have a one-liner, I call it a power phrase, because I hate scripted, robotic, just word tracks. They're just so cringy these days. And really just being social. It's a social interaction. You have to have that a little emotional intelligence, and you have to have social skills.
Yeah.
To do this these days. Way more than you had to before.
I know. And I think it's what I think back in the day we used to just say, I can hire and train just about anybody as long as they're, willing to show up and do the damn thing every day. And that's not it anymore.
Enough.
You can't take someone who is a phenomenal just salesperson because they're pushy and turn them into a good social person. Like, not social media, but just social skills, the ability to have a good conversation or read social cues, read body language, things like that.
Yes.
You can't train that into somebody. You either have it or you don't.
Yep.
Like
100%.
I have yet to see a training that can train you to be a better human. I mean,
or build a relationship. I mean, that is literally something that you are going to have to be able to do on your own. And if you can't, then you're already behind. If you can't build that relationship, you're already 2 steps behind.
There's a lot of dealerships that have started even hiring that way. Like, they're looking for the hospitality industry. They're going and finding people like
bartenders. Yep.
Bartenders, waiters, waitresses.
Mm-hmm.
I think about it almost every day. My husband and I went to, we have a Sonic I love when my thumb does that. We have a Sonic that's right next to us, my office here. And there's this one girl that works there. Her name is Brittany. And she is like the loudest, most exciting person to talk to, especially at freaking 7:00 in the morning. And she's just right there. And I think about her all the time. And I'm like, she would do so good, more than likely, in sales or something like that, because she is so memorable. Mm-hmm. And it's like that. It's like while we're out eating or while we're out doing whatever we've got to do, and you find that one person who just sticks out to you and is like, I mean, they go above and beyond. They're over the top. Like, those are the people, guys. Those are the people that have those.
And that's another part of this. Like, what really pushes me as far as my passion to go forward in the sales training aspect is, I'm sure you know as well as I do, this business can be absolutely life-changing. And if I could take another single mom like myself who may be struggling financially with no help and put them in a position to be successful in a career that could literally change the whole trajectory of their lives, that's a big freaking deal. And that, I mean, even men, women, whatever, but I do feel like that women feel like, a lot of women in this business feel like they're at a disadvantage, and they have such an, and they just don't realize it.
Women do. I mean, when you really sit there and think about the stat that women are responsible in some way, shape, or form in influencing 85% of all car buying.
Yes.
And who do women want to buy from? Women. Like, we want to make sure that we're not being shystered, that we're not being lied to, that we're not being pushed one direction or another. We want relationships because that's who we are. It's in our DNA as mothers. We are caregivers. We are personal friends. We are sisters. Like, we want that relationship. And so, like, all of the data is proving to everybody, you've got to be doing this. And the fact that there's still dealerships out there that are not only denying it, but just flat out refusing to do it, or even to have female hires on their staff or females in leadership. Like, what are you thinking? It blows me away.
I mean, honestly, the dealership that I'm at hired their first female salesperson in 2020. So we're just completely breaking all the walls down here. And I think they probably value me and the other 2 women that we have on the sales floor more than half of the men, because we do everything correctly. We have our paperwork correct. Everything's filled out. We don't make all of the mistakes that the boys make every day. And that's a big thing.
it's not to say that men in the industry are not a good thing. Like, we obviously need men in this industry. Like, women cannot make it anywhere without, without the good men who are doing the good work to invest in us as our leaders and so on and so forth. So it's never to say that it's like that we don't need the men or that we're better than men. We've just got to come together and realize, like, hey, this is a joint effort, and we need you as much as you need us.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, what it comes down to at the end of the day.
This episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
Is that customers in 2025 want to buy a car from somebody that they would be friends with in real life. And if you can't be that person, it's going to be tough moving forward. If you can't be somebody that I would be like, oh, I like her. Like, I would be her friend. I feel like I could tell her stuff. Or I feel like I could tell him stuff.
Yeah.
Then you're already just so far behind, because if you got into this business thinking that if I could, would you, or what does it take to earn your business, or this deal is today only. Like, if you think that those are the one-liners that work today, they don't.
When did you have that shift? I saw your video that, you used to start off really nice and being the no worries person and, not being too pressured. And then you realized you had to make a change, but still be nice with a little bit of pressure. What was that shift for you? Like, when did you finally have that aha moment of what I'm doing is not working?
When I realized that a lot of the money that I was losing or not making, I guess, was due to me just being too nice. It was due to me being like, okay, yeah, let me see what I can do. And leaving. And I mean, I feel like every time you get up from the desk and go to the manager, you lose that much more authority with your customers. They don't trust you at that point. What are you even here for? You're just going to go ask your manager. So it was a shift of realizing that I've been doing this for a long time. I know what we're able to do and what we're not. And just being confident in those choices and being confident in the fact that I cannot give you $5,000 off of this car, and I don't need to go talk to my manager to get him to tell me that. This is unrealistic, and this is why it's unrealistic. And really explaining, I mean, really, if you teach your customers and you educate them on why things are the way they are, it's a total game changer. Because a lot of times they don't understand. They genuinely, it just comes from a place of not understanding. And once you're able to break that down for them and put it into bite-sized pieces, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that does make sense, or building, like making them realize the value in what they're buying instead of trying to come off of the price or negotiate on anything, is making them understand why this certain vehicle is priced the way that it is. And it's you told me everything that you told me about the vehicle or what you're looking for in a vehicle. It checks off all these boxes. And that's why it is the price that it is. So we can look at a vehicle with less options that don't have what you want, or we can figure out a way to make this one work for you. And it's the response 9 times out of 10 is like, okay, like that makes sense. And just having that confidence and knowing that I've been doing this long enough, that I do know those answers and I do know how to educate those customers, it just helped. It was the confidence, I think. Confidence is a game changer in this business for saleswomen, for salesmen, for salespeople. Even if you don't know what you're talking about, if you can sound confident in it, or you can say it confidently, it will 9 times out of 10 go by smoother than if you're just like, well, let me, my manager, I don't, all of that kind of stuff.
How did that translate into sales for you? Like, prior to making that change, when you were kind of, just trying to be a little more friendly with people versus, when you found your confidence and started doing things the way you knew they needed to be done, like sales wise, how did that change?
So with COVID, I feel like that was a very good lesson in negotiations and holding your price and not, apologizing for the, because it really was what it was in COVID. It just, if you were there, you get it. And so I feel like that kind of helped that part. But then moving here, you have to really drive your own traffic here. It's not as busy as my other dealership. And so you really do have to maximize every single deal. And that's where it hit me. It was like, I'm not selling 30 cars a month like I previously was. I'm selling closer to 10 or 15, maybe 20. So if I don't make each of these deals count, it doesn't make sense for me to be here at that point. And that's kind of what it came down to, was like, hey, this is really affecting, I can see it more because I'm selling less cars, right? So I had to try to figure out what works for me and that's the relationship part of it, and helping customers understand what they're doing.
And how many are you averaging right now a month?
Somewhere between 10 and 15, really depending on, and I really feel like this business it's almost, you can control your success in this business almost like a volume knob, depending on how hard you want to hustle. And so it's kind of like that. For 1 month, I feel like I'm a little more focused on the social media and the training program that I'm building and all of this stuff. And so of course, then I'm probably closer to 10. But on the months that I really grind it out and I get that momentum and I just keep going, 15 to 17.
So
this dealership only does 100 to 120 a month. So the dealership I was at previously, we were 250 to 300 every single month. So it's a big shift.
Have that volume, it makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
Did you notice anything with the grosses when you started, or what you were bringing home once you started being more relationship based, that you were able to also make more money off of it?
Absolutely, because again, with the confidence, it goes back to, there were times I was discounting before they would even ask for a discount. Like I would show the pencil and I would be like, look, I know, but maybe we could do something here and here. And if you just present the pencil and shut up, a lot of times I was like, okay, they didn't even say anything about that. Like I thought they were going to. And I would save myself money there, just right off the rip, just being quiet. And then, and just not apologizing. And again, building the value and making them understand why it is the way that it is. But yeah, just the confidence in the product that I know that my store prices vehicles accordingly. Like I know that we don't have 10 grand markup in any of our vehicles. So what they're getting is a market value, a fair market value or a great market value price, depending on what it is. So it's not like we're overcharging people. So I do feel like I have gotten that confidence too. And like, hey, this is priced correctly. You might go somewhere and find it a little bit cheaper, but you're not going to have me to do the process with you. So, and a lot of times that's really all it takes. They're like, yeah, I really don't want to go deal with a terrible salesperson at another dealership. And not even just that. I've had so many customers, which I think also is a good advantage for women. Our follow-up is different.
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
I've had so many customers tell me, I'm so glad that you were my salesperson, because I feel like had it been anybody else and I had these issues, I would have just been left out in the cold. And that is so important, is keeping in touch with your customers. I want to be their whole car girl, not their just car salesman. I want to be when they have an issue with their vehicle, when they need an oil change. I'm the one-stop shop. My customers only call me. They don't even know anybody in my service department. It's me. And I feel like that really is what sets me apart as well. And it helps with repeats, referrals, with all of that stuff, because they really do feel like they're getting their money's worth with the salesperson.
And think of all the tools that we have that make this borderline thoughtless. Like, think about just even your phone. Say you have an iPhone and, you sell a car, go save that person in your phone, add in, their contact information. And then there's a whole note section in there that you can add in information. So, this customer bought a 2023 F-150 Platinum. She's a mother to 2 kids, and her husband, John, works at the factory down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Her birthday is blah, blah, blah. Their anniversary is blah, blah, blah. They've been together for so many years. She kept drinking Dr. Pepper while she was sitting with me, so I think she really likes
it. And it's so easy to do that depending on your CRM. I mean, they all have notes, customer notes, and you just type as you get that information. You just make a little note, and it's that easy.
Yeah, set a reminder after you sell the car on their birthday. Hey, send them a message, tell them happy birthday, send them an anniversary. Like your CRM, yes, number one, you should be doing it in there, but if you have it in your phone too, that protects you if, like the situation you were in where your dealership sold and maybe there's a CRM change and all of that follow-up doesn't come over. It's just a second layer of protection for you as their salesperson.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And that stuff really does mean something to the customer, whether you think that it does or not, it really does.
Yeah. I mean, and it would cost you a combined 5-10 minutes, the typing of the notes. And then when a year comes around, the 5 minutes it takes to send the text or whatever. A phone call.
Nothing. I mean, it takes no effort.
It's
minimal.
Yeah. And it means the world to them. I mean, sending them, if they're a small business owner, sending them business, buying from their business, if it's something that you can buy from, and it's just investing in your community. That's part of investing in your community and being the relationship builder. And that's what it all comes down to. That's at the hub of everything.
It really is way more than it has ever been. I do remember when car buying was transactional, and it's not transactional anymore. They don't want transaction. Yeah. They want a relationship. They want to feel like they're talking to a real person, and they want to feel like a real person. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they're very on guard. Their walls are up immediately. They're very much more aggressive than I feel like they were pre-COVID. And I get it. I totally understand. So it's even more important now that you're able to break down those walls and rebuild that relationship so that they stop hating car dealerships and thinking that they're all terrible and they're all liars and they're all scum, and having them leave with okay, and they're not all bad. Yeah. There are good car sales, there are good dealerships in the world. Just changing that perspective, I feel like is so important.
Well, it's going to take all of us. I mean, there's some old school dealers that are definitely still living in the 80s, 90s. Some of them made it to the 2000s, but the shift around the country is happening at different decades. So there's still practices in some dealerships where, they don't even have a CRM. Like they haven't even made it to that point yet. Yeah. Where they have no female staff whatsoever because I don't want to deal with her schedule. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the issues may be, we still have a lot of work to do. And so it's going to take every single one of us who are doing it the right way to keep spreading the word about it and doing what you're doing, offering this training to other salespeople. How soon would you say you're going to have that launched and ready to go?
My business partner is soft pitching it to our first dealership this morning. It's a smaller store in South Georgia. And so that's kind of where I want to break into first. I would like to get into the dealership realm. I do have a stand storefront for my one-on-one coaching, and I do still plan. We still plan to do that. But I feel like if I could get established into one dealership, if I could have that proof, that social proof, that content of hey, this actually what they know what they're talking about. Then that would give me more, I guess, more of a reputation and more a more established name in the business. Yeah. To then coach one-on-one with salespeople. And I would love, I'm open to that now. I have my stand store on my TikTok page. I just haven't really pushed it yet. So that's kind of where we're at there. I wanted to start with the one-on-one, and then we kind of pivoted into dealership first. So I think we're going to go that route and then transition. We have all the ideas. We have licensing and digital courses. And we really want to just disrupt this whole old, outdated sales process, word tracks, all that bullshit, and change it up and shift it into where car sales is headed, which is the relationships and the connections. And
I'm about to have you on speed dial because I have so many people I'm going to number one.
I love that. Yes.
But they need that training. So
Yes.
no, I got you.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to watch you. Are you going to be, by chance that you know of, at any industry events coming up?
Not that I know of. I mean, okay. I have been in this business for a long time. Locally, I do get into anything that we have here, Chamber of Commerce, those kind of things. But I would love to get more involved in the automotive, like the national automotive realm, specifically women in automotive. I love women in this. I mean, y'all are my people. Nobody gets me, I feel like other car sales girlies. Nobody gets it like y'all do. So that's so important and refreshing to me. But if I go into a dealership that has not a single saleswoman, those salesmen, when we leave that room, will understand that, like, oh shit, like they know what they're talking about, and their managers are going to walk out of that training saying, we need some saleswomen on the floor. We need some women on the floor. Yeah. What are we doing? That's the goal, is when we leave out of there, that if they don't have any women, that they have them after we leave.
I love that.
Because they're so beneficial to your dealership.
Oh yeah. Hands down, without question.
Yeah.
I love this. I love everything you're doing. And I'm gonna do my part in making sure I connect you with people and see what industry events we can get you to. We talked offline about trying to do a women in automotive social in your neck of the woods and making sure you're involved in that. So we're up to some things, guys. You'll see. You'll see. You are not done here. You're not done seeing Stephanie yet. Thank you so much for coming on today. It was awesome to get to talk to you and learn more about you. And like I said, I'm just eager to see what I can do to help you and get you out there more. But I love everything you're doing. Please don't stop, because I'm enjoying every bit of it.
I have no plans to stop. I have my foot all the way down on the gas.
All gas, no brakes, as our gas. All right, guys. Until next time, be sure to connect with Stephanie. She's on every single social profile. I found her on TikTok, but I've already found her on Facebook and LinkedIn. It was
first name, last name on everything.
Yep. I'll throw the link in the show notes, but you absolutely have to connect with Stephanie. But until next time, remember to go out there and be kind to others, because you never know what they're facing. I will catch you next time. Thank you so much.
Bye.